Twenties ended with the Great Depression, but the stock market crash of October 24, 1929 in the United States. After having caused its first ravages, economic crisis reached Europe. Everyone settles down to become a reassuring housewife again, and fashion becomes more feminine. Crowned heads and great aristocrats see their power and their privileges threatened, while the worldly bourgeois are more discreet and restrict their way of life. Marcel Chamé must reduce the staff of his Parisian workshops from 80 to 15. Struck by new lifestyles and the cost of materials, Art Deco died out little by little during these dark years. At the house of Chamé, major clients who can afford luxurious sets of precious stones are becoming rare. A good number of the sumptuous works executed by the jeweler at the time were designed from family members. After the declaration of war on September 3, 1939, Chamé's stock was hidden in the countryside. During the years of the conflict, staff and clients were mobilized. Shortage of stones and precious metals considerably limit production, which is nevertheless maintained thanks to a few orders to be made from jewelry brought by customers. A truly activity will not resume until the liberation, with the creation of many jewels with the patriotic theme. Before the era of new creativity, feminine and joyful, begins during Parisian jewelry's London branches. The Roaring Twenties were also marked by the fabulous manner brought to them by the Maharajas. Rather Francophile for some, Anglophiles for others, Indian princes travel a lot and are naturally aware of Western fashions, which they willingly share. They nevertheless remain viscerally attached to their traditions, among which is the veneration they have for precious gems, symbols of the power of the gods from which their own sovereignty derives. In the 1920s, many of them entrusted their adornments to French jewelers, who were sometimes accompanied so that they can be remodeled into modern and light bear shape. Chamé seems to be the first of the jewelers to understand the importance of this market. From 1910, he decided some of his collaborations to Maharaja Savrao Gaikwad III of Baroda. Sometime early, this mad lover for gemstones, he gladly wears a legendary diamond, the Southern Star, of almost 129 carats, would have requested the expertise of Joseph Chamé. As a famous gemologist, in order to assess the quality of this treasure and to consider reassembling its collection of traditional jewelry, Maharaja of India comes to the Place Vendôme 12 and asks for some jewelry. The sellers told him that he had marvels, and the Maharajas was particularly interested in a bracelet adorned with a pearl and two magnificent pear-shaped diamonds of almost 47 carats. A drawing accompanies them with a great modernity, where they hang gracefully, staggered to a supple lace necklace of diamonds, forming a simple loose knot. He immediately buys the ring and indicates that he will take it the next day with his bill. No doubt he tells himself that the night will bring him advice. It is the necklace with two diamonds that interests him above all. But its price, a little more than 231,000 francs, astonishing. He likes the overall design of the necklace. Testifies again Joseph Chamé's taste for the purity of what is not yet called Art Deco, and it responds to that of the Maharajas, who, unlike a good number of his peers, rather tattered by French classicism modernity. The next day, the Maharaja's Allure returns to Chamé. He takes delivery of the ring and acquires two diamonds accompanied by the planned necklace. The sovereign will be loyal to Chamé throughout the Roaring Twenties, buying him jewels of great price and modern craftsmanship. Many other princesses and princesses of the Indian Empire frequent the salons of Chamé. In Paris or in London, at this time, such as the Maharaja of Kashmir or King Rana of Nepal, who orders a sumptuous traditional headdress from the jeweler, raised with pearls, emeralds, and rubies. Chamé's Indian clients are not only members of ruling families, thus Lady Tata, wife of a wealthy businessman, Retagny, Suzanne Brière in France, follower Chamé. Customers' loyalty is at the heart of Chamé's history. This confidence granted to the jewelry by the great families is an essential component of the permanence of the relations, made discretion and confidentiality. Thanks to his perfect knowledge of the skins of royals. Through marriages and inheritances, the house has become, over the generation, a witness to the intimacy of beings, accompanying them in the measured stages of life, bringing all jewels up to date, repairing and modifying them is one of the missions of a great jeweler. The example of the Trevis set is instructive in this sense and sheds very precise light on the creative process and the line and order, a process made of precious exchanges between the client and the jeweler. By cross-referencing the collections of drawings and photographs with the various archives of the house, visitors' book, deposit book, stone balance, and invoice book, the history of this adornment and of the successive can be traced with precision. On August 35, 1904, the Duchess of Treviso went to Chaumét to order a tiara for the wedding of her daughter, Jeanne, planned for the following October 2nd in Paris with her Bouds, Count of Guebriant, wife of the 4th Duke of Treviso, descendant of the Marshal of Empire, Édouard Mortier. He was named Duke of Treviso by Napoleon in 1808. The Duchess brings with her jewels from the family heirloom, hand over both at the jewelry a set of pieces in sapphires and diamonds, a pair of ear studs, a cross, and a brooch. She asks that one of the studs be mounted as a ring, and that a project diadem is made with the other elements. 2 tiara models were entrusted to her that same day. Depositing another piece in sapphires and diamonds, she wishes to have it lengthened in adding to it sapphire ring, which she puts back at the same time. All parts are photographed, appraised, carefully recorded in the stone balance book.